Hello everyone, WolfTamer7 here. Welcome everyone to a video where I'm going to be covering the brand new 1.16.100 villager curing mechanics for the Bedrock edition of Minecraft. So, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the general overview of the curing changes, some of the specific trading details I noticed when testing with these guys, and what it means for your trading halls. Do you need to remake them, redesigns, anything like that? So without further ado, let's get right into it. So in case you don't know what I'm talking about, a few days ago there was an update released which was titled 1.16.100, and there were some pretty useful changes that were made. For example, chains can now be placed horizontally, lanterns can now be waterlogged, etc., etc. But there was a change made to villager curing where the effect of the villager curing is now different. So before I explain the new system, let me explain the old system for anyone who doesn't know. So the old system, basically this golden block, right, this guy right here, he's going to act as if he's being cured. So if this guy was cured right here, any villager in a 16 block radius of that villager would then drop their trades down to 1. So this guy right here, he would drop all this to 1. 1 paper for 1 emerald, 1 emerald for a bookshelf, 4 books for an emerald, 1 emerald and a book for enchanted book. And that would apply for every single villager in a 16 block radius around that villager. So all these guys would be cured, all these guys would be cured, even those guys up there would be cured. So they would all drop down to 1. Now, the new system is not like that. The new system is a little bit different in that there are 2 different effects you're going to notice when you cure a villager. So the first discount you're going to notice is the villager that is being cured. So the villager that's being cured, let me actually get this going here. So right now we're curing this villager, or this zombie villager right here. So once we cure this zombie villager, we're going to notice 2 different types of discounts. So the first discount is actually him. So for his discount, his trades are going to drop a significant amount. We're going to notice that this trader here is going to drop a pretty big amount. This trader here is going to drop a little bit. It's basically going to drop a more significant amount. But the other type of discount you're going to notice is the villagers around him. That 16 block radius effect that I mentioned, where all these guys would drop down to 1 paper, these guys would be like 1 rotten flesh and 1 string, all of that, that is all still going to apply. However, the difference is that it's not going to be straight down to 1. It's not going to be straight down to 1 paper. It's not going to be straight down to 1 emerald. It's going to drop by 1. Let me get some milk. All of these guys are going to drop down by 1. So this 24 guy, he's going to go down to 23. 9 emeralds, going to drop down to 8 emeralds. 4 books, down to 3 books, etc. And we'll see that once this guy is cured, which should be any second now. Come on. There we go. Took a little bit longer, but anyway. This guy, as you'll notice, has a significant price drop from 24 paper to 18 paper, 9 emeralds to 3 emeralds, 4 books to 1 book. A pretty significant amount. But these other guys, you'll notice them, they only drop by 1. 24 paper to 23 paper, 9 emeralds to 8 emeralds, 4 books to 3 books. And that's how it's going to be for every single villager in the 16 block radius. All of them are going to drop by that 1 item difference. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that sucks. Because this guy only drops a certain amount, and then these guys drop only 1. I mean, that clearly sucks. But here's the big difference. This curing effect that I'm showing is permanent. So unlike the previous system, in the previous system, after about 4 hours, the villagers would begin to rise their prices again. They would go back to that original 24.94. You get the idea. But with this new system, all of these trades that you're seeing, or these discounted prices, that 18 paper, that's permanent. The 3 emeralds, that's permanent. And I can continue to lower these guys down until eventually they are all 1 paper, 1 emerald, 1 book, 1 emerald. And that is a permanent effect. I will never have to cure a villager again once they're all the way down. And that is amazing. Right? So, I think more people... So, I think people are negative about it when... This, honestly, is a very positive change. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth in a little bit. But, I mean, yeah, this is a very, very powerful thing. Anyway, though, that's kind of the general overview. But let's take a look at some of the more specific details now. So, when curing the villagers... during my testing, there were a couple of noticeable things that I found. And I want to point them out right here. So, based off of my testing, what I noticed in particular was that villagers, whenever they drop their prices, they always drop by a certain amount. So, whenever they drop by a certain amount... let me grab a few different workstations here just so I can show you the effect these guys have. So let me cure these guys. Alright, cool. So, the effect that I noticed is that, I can actually demonstrate it with these guys over here. The effect that I noticed is that, whenever you directly cure the villager, you're going to notice a significant price drop in their trades. But more importantly, the trades are based off, like the discount prices are based off of the trade present. So, for example, this guy right here, he drops his price by, his paper price, he dropped by 6. This right here, he dropped by also 6. And what's cool is I can actually interchange this guy's profession. Look at this. He's now a fisherman. And you'll notice he keeps most of... or he keeps that same discounted price across all types of professions. But, yeah, it's different for each of the trades. It's different for each of the trades in that, like, the more expensive trades, they're always going to kind of remain... they're going to be less expensive, but they're still going to kind of remain that top tier. But if it's a cheap price, for example, this empty map trade right here... This is only 1 emerald because it's cheap, right? And a lot of trades are like that in villagers. A lot of trades are super, super low to where 1 cure is pretty much going to drop it down to 1 emerald. Like, see this guy, like 6 leather, that's easy going to go down to 1 leather. These guys, they're obviously going to go down to 1 emerald. See the farmers? These guys, those 6 pumpkins right there, those are easily going to drop down to 1 pumpkin. So it follows through that, like, when you cure when you cure a villager, the prices are going to drop just a more significant amount. So let's take a look at these guys. So let me actually give these guys some workstations, and then we'll see kind of... Oop, okay, apparently you. But I want to kind of show the effect that the really? Come on. You gotta be kidding. Really? Okay. Anyway, I wanted to like point out the specific details that I noticed. Wait, did I just flop? Are you kidding me? Really? Okay, you. Thought it was the other guy, but no, it's you. Okay, there we go. Jeez. All right. Anyway, so with these guys, what we'll notice is that, yeah, they all drop that significant amount. The lower prices usually are going to hit 1, so you're really only going to require 1 to 2 cures, like for most of the villagers. But when I was trading, there was a trend that I noticed, and it's these 3 items right here: bells, equipment, and enchanted books. All 3 of these items, based off from what I saw, have a different trend to them. And I actually want to show it over here in one of these guys. Let me find an enchanted book guy. Okay, right here. Look at this guy. This guy was clearly... Why are you very marked down? Oh, that's right. Yeah, because... Never mind. Okay. Poor example. Poor example. Yeah. Okay, don't worry about those guys. Here we go. So, these guys... Actually, hold on. I wonder if there's... Here we go. This is perfect. Okay, yeah, this guy right here. So, this guy right here, you'll notice that his enchanted book trades have dropped a more significant amount than the paper trade. Like, the paper trade dropped down by 1, the book trade dropped down by 1, but the enchanted book dropped down to a more significant amount. Dropped by 5, dropped by, looks like 7, it almost looks like. And remember, this was from the 1 block radius. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering what happened to these guys, because of them, that their radius affected them. But, yeah, like, these guys, they dropped down way more. So, based off of, and I believe that's because these items have a trend. Really? There we go. These items have a trend to where whenever they are, like whenever you get them in a trade, they're going to be affected differently. So let me actually max out this guy, and you'll see it even better. Look at this. Look at this. All of the equipment. Oh, really? Let me max this guy out real quick. There we go. But you'll notice all of the tool trades are all 1 emerald, right? And the bell is like 7, but it's still significant, like a 36 to 7 drop. That's really significant for a first trade. And so I think what happens is that these items in particular have a trend, like they're weighted more whenever you cure a villager, to where they're going to drop a more significant amount based on their trading. Hello, cat. Go away. But yeah, so it's really interesting to see that, because it means that like for most of your villagers who have that like enchanted books, who have that tool trade, you're not gonna have to cure them as much. But we'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit. What, cat? Stop. Talk about interchanging. Talk about that. So the last thing I wanted to mention about these guys is obviously their price drop. So doing some testing, it appears that like these guys right here, you'll notice that they drop by they drop a significant amount, but obviously it's not down to 1 paper. So what were to happen if I did want to go down to 1 paper? Well, if I wanted to go down to 1 paper, I would have to cure this guy right here about 3 to 5 times. That's about what happened. Some villagers would get down in just three cures. Some would get down in 4, but like 5 was guaranteed, but it was the maximum that occurred. So about 3 to 5 times per villager, and obviously that's going to get expensive, right? Stacking up those cures, that's going to take quite a while just to drop this guy right here down to 1 paper. So, right, I mean that's very expensive. And it is a permanent cure, but it's very expensive. But let me explain why this is actually why curing like these guys 5 times is actually not what you should be doing. And for that, we're going to move into the last part of the video, which is what you need to do with your trading. Alright. Okay, so here is a basically an example trading hall. This is a good example of a trading hall that you would see prior to the 1.16.100 update. You'll notice there are 64 villagers here, and what would happen prior is you cure this guy right here. All these villagers would drop down to 1, all of them. Also, that they're dropped a little bit because I was making sure that they were in the radius. But you'll notice that they would all drop down to 1, but obviously now they only drop by 1 because of the new changes. But let me explain what you need to do with your trading halls, because the simple TLDR, nothing. You don't have to do anything with your trading halls. Yeah, and let me explain why. So with your villagers, as I mentioned, if you wanted to bring down all of these guys down to 1 paper, you would have to cure them about 3 to 5 times. So if I were to cure these guys 3 to 5 times, on average, that's going to take 4 stacks of golden apples, even 5. We'll say 5. 5 stacks of golden apples for this entire trading hall. That's obviously very expensive, right? Well, remember how I mentioned that these guys, like the area of effect where it decreases all of the surrounding villagers by 1? Well, think about it like this. Instead of wasting 5 stacks of golden apples, I only have to use 1. In fact, probably less, because think about it. The max cost trade you can get on a villager is 64. Right. And if I use an entire stack of golden apples, then that entire stack, like that 64 cost trade, has been reduced 64 times, meaning it's down to 1. And that AoE applies to every single villager here. So instead of using all my resources trying to cure each of these guys individually, making a completely new trading hall that's way more complicated, all that kind of stuff, just cure this guy multiple times, and all of these guys will reduce their prices until eventually you are down to 1. And once you're down to 1, remember, it's a permanent effect. You don't have to do anything with them once they are down to 1. Once they're down to 1 paper, 1 emerald, 1 book, whatever. You don't have to do anything with them. Now, of course, getting those resources sounds kind of expensive, right? Like getting a ton of golden apples and potions probably gonna take a little bit of resources, but let me tell you, that's easy as well. For gold, just get yourself a portal ticking gold farm. I recommend Navy Nexus's design. I'll put a link to that video in the description. But as far as apples go, well, hello, you're in it, but as far as apples go, all you have to do is get a villager, a farmer specifically, who has, there we go, an apple trade. And look at this. Boom. Oh, actually, there we go. Boom. 64 apples just like that. One round of trading. One round of trading with this one guy, I got 64 apples. Easy. Just get the gold from your gold farm. Easy. Now, potions, yeah, that's probably going to be maybe a little bit more expensive. But check this little trick out. If you take a cauldron and then put some weakness potions in it, like this, you can take your arrows, dip them in the cauldron, and look at this. You now have a stack of weakness arrows. So then all you have to do, get rid of these, take a bow with your golden apple, shoot that guy, and cure him. Now, what's interesting, and makes this possible, is that whenever a villager is converted and cured, their health resets. Meaning, you can pretty much shoot this guy every single time he's a zombie villager, and he's never going to die. Because his health will always reset. And you can just shoot him 64 times, give him 64 golden apples, boom. Every single one of your villagers is cured. It'll probably take less, to be honest, but just 64 for like just so it's guaranteed. So yeah, it's that easy. Long story short, you don't need to do anything with your trading halls. Just get yourself a ton of golden apples. Get yourself a ton of weakness potions or weakness arrows. Cure this center villager quite a few times, and then all these villagers will be dropped down to 1. And remember, once they're dropped down to 1, you don't have to do anything with them. They're going to permanently be dropped down to 1, and yeah, you will never have to worry about curing a villager or a zombie villager again. It is that easy. So, I mean, yeah. Like, I mean, and again, I think a lot of people see this as a negative change just because of the initial thought that, you know, all these guys are now reduced in their price reduction. But because this is a permanent effect and it's so easy to just cure this guy a ton of times and then their trading almost permanent, I think it's going to be great in the long run. So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode. I really hope you all enjoyed the video and hope you learned a little bit more about villager curing mechanics in the 1.16.100 update. If you have any questions, you can always join some technical discords. For example, I'm a part of Advanced Automation, and I'll have a link in the description for the Discord server. You can always ask questions there. There's plenty of awesome people there who can help you out. But overall, yeah, the system is very easy to understand, I think. And once you get the hang of it, it's definitely going to be a lot better for you in the long run. Also, I want to give a special thanks to Old Guy for helping me out on the research for this video. Me and him talked a little bit the other day. And we were basically just kind of sharing our testing results. And I think it really helped kind of legitimize the truth behind like the effect behind them, making sure that my testing was similar to his and that I wasn't getting different results, so I was giving accurate information. So special thanks to him. I'll put a link to his description, a link to his channel in the description, and as I mentioned, I'll also put a link to Navy Nexus's quad gold farm in the description as well. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you all next time.